So good evening and welcome to this session of the Missouri Association of College Admissions Counseling, the Show Me My Future Virtual College Exploration. My name is Andrew Lowy. I'm one of the facilitators here with Missouri ACAC. You're in the Bradley, Butler, and Drury information session. A couple of housekeeping things before I turn it over to the panel. The way you interact and ask questions with our panel is your Q&A button. You'll see that you have that there. You can ask questions at any time during the panel. Most likely they'll be able to answer them towards the end of the session, but that's how you interact with the panel. Your camera and microphone are off. The chat feature is also disabled, so please use that Q&A button. Also, when you're done with this, feel free to sign up for more sessions at moacac.org. Lots more sessions to be offered. And a recording of this and all the sessions are going to be available at moacac.org as well. So you'll want to check those as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the panel.
Hi, everyone. My name is April Bauer, and I am an Associate Director of Admission for Bradley University, and I am the St. Louis Regional Rep. So I take care of all of the state of Missouri for Bradley. And I'm going to kick off our presentation with just one slide introducing my friends from Butler and Drury. And the whole reason why we came together this evening to present to you is to cover the Midwest area of Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, one from each. Location, 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 as you can see, is so important for us and for the type of students and families that we enjoy speaking with, and of course, we enjoy recruiting. We've got all small school feels, and we've got big opportunities to cover with you this evening. Emphasis on relationships and personal connections are very important for the three of us in our universities. And then also the diversity of the experiences that you're going to be having, that personal growth as a college student, but also leading into your professional growth. Highly successful and engaged students and alumni come from each of our institutions, and we really want to showcase that this evening for you. So as I move into Bradley is located in Peoria, Illinois. So for those of you that know the area, know the Missouri and the St. Louis area, from St. Louis, we're about 2.5 to 3 hours away. We have around total population just under 6,000 students. So we're in that medium-sized university bracket in the US, and we really showcase a lot on personalized attention. But being a Division I athletic school, we really have a feel for being like a large university. So there's so many more opportunities that Chris is going to cover on the next slide as he moves forward. Our location is so important, as you can see visually on the map. From the St. Louis area, about 2.5 to 3 hours. From Chicago, about the same distance. From Indianapolis, where Butler and Chris is at, is about 3 hours. And the Quad Cities about 1.5 hours. So you can see we're in a great prime location right in the state of Illinois and right in the heart of Illinois to be able to hit different cities within just a few hours. Next slide. So as you can tell, with Bradley University's programs, we have 5 different schools that showcase 185 different majors. All of the majors are direct entry in as incoming freshmen, and we also truly value our transfer population as well. So the next slide is going to showcase just what I talked about with the 185-degree majors. But most importantly, that personalized attention, again, is going to cover that 12-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. Average class size is 17. I've been with Bradley University as a recruiter for just around 7.5 years. And we have primarily really focused on this size university and this structure, so you can have that individualized attention from freshman year all the way through to graduation. 100% of our faculty teach the classes, and that's why we're ranked almost every year within a student engagement type ranking, because we value not only you in the classroom, but we want to make sure that you're engaged in your major, in the community, in your internships, and with our faculty immediately. With the next slide, you'll be able to see our location as far as our campus map. We're a walkable campus. I always tell my students when I recruit them in person at high school visits and college fairs, when you look at the map, from one end to the next, it's a 10 to 15 minute flat, straight, nice walk. So if you're a student that likes to maybe sleep in a little bit, this is going to give you an opportunity to be able to wake up, brush your teeth, and be able to get to class within 10 minutes. We have a very active student population as well, and 90% of our freshman class live on campus. So it is a very active campus life. On the next slide, we're going to break just a little bit more into the different schools. Of course, we have 185 different majors. So obviously, I'm not going to cover all of those this evening with you. But hopefully you're on Bradley's mailing list. You've received emails, you've looked at our website, you've looked at our social media pages, and you've really engaged in what it's like to be a Bradley student. First off, with Foster College of Business, we have a very specialized accreditation for not only business, but also for our accounting programs. We have a wonderful entrepreneurship center. And then you can see the main majors here. One of my favorite ones is social media marketing that is within our marketing major. So on the next slide, we're going to cover Slane College of Communications and Fine Arts. And this is the home to many different opportunities, from music and theater to art and design to our nationally ranked game design and animation programs. We also have added game art because we know a lot of our art and our graphic design and photography students really love engaging and also creating games. So as you go through the website, Slane College of Communications and Fine Arts is known for our Hollywood semester, where students can engage typically in their junior or senior year, go out to Hollywood with our faculty and really have hands-on experience in many different majors. The next slide, we will cover the College of Education and Health Sciences. This is where you're going to be a teacher. You can go into our direct admit nursing program as a freshman. This right here with nursing is our most popular major, usually at Bradley. And then of course, we're fortunate enough that we have a full physical therapy school as well. On the next slide, you will see Caterpillar College of Engineering and Technology. Many St. Louis alumni and many St. Louis families are very familiar with our engineering program. We were blessed to also open up a brand new Business and Engineering Convergence Center. And that's something very unique and special, Bradley, is that we bring those degree programs together in those two schools into one building. And those students work and collaborate together on many team projects and also team leadership building opportunities. But with engineering here, mechanical being one of our largest, you will see some of the major opportunities for you all over the board with our engineering students. On the next slide, you will see College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. This is our largest program, and it typically is at all schools, but you will see everything from biology and pre-med to physics to language to psychology and computer science and information systems. So this being our largest school, it will cover, I usually tell my students, everything from A to Z in the alphabet for you for degree programs. On the next slide, Bradley is very well known for the Academic Exploration Program. It is called the AEP for short, It is one of the first type of curriculums that was designed by Bradley to really engage students in a program called Explore in a Footsteps program. So if you are a student that is completely undecided, or a student that might have 1, 2, 3 majors in mind, this is a phenomenal starting point for you to be able to get exposure in your freshman year right off the bat with not only faculty and our advisors guiding you, but the Footsteps program will put you out into the community and let you shadow in different types of career opportunities for you. On the next slide, student life. We want you to excel in the classroom. That's why you're going to college, for the academics. But we want you to have a college experience. So student in life, we have everything under the sun that you can think of. One of my favorite organization is called WAGs for Mags, and you can see in the picture of the dog in the upper corner. It is a student organization where students learn to put dogs through service training. And it's a pretty cool concept designed by a couple of our faculty on campus. But we have everything from your normal high school type programs and club sports and intramurals and events to your pretty unique opportunities in student organizations like the Cereal Club, where students get together and they eat cereal and they talk about the latest topics. So student life is so important to engage you, especially and de-stress you from all of your academic classes. On the next slide, then we'll talk about campus visits. So we know for the past 5-6 months, we've been in a pandemic and our whole lives have changed. But we really encourage our families to hang tight and hang in there with us, just like we're doing this evening. And really keep a close eye on the visit opportunities that we are constantly adding to our campus visit website. We do have an Under the Stars program events that will be happening in the next few weeks. And then of course we do offer daily curbside appointments that will start here in the next week to week and a half again. If you just aren't ready to venture out into the public eye on campuses, we do offer virtual visits all the time. And of course, as your recruiter, I will help you with that. And then if we can go to the next couple slides. So admission and financial aid, I'm blessed because in my job, my full-time job, I'm not only your admissions recruiter who will talk to you about Bradley, but I'm the one that's going to help read your application, award your scholarships, and then I do a full circle, and I'm your financial aid advisor. So we're going to be able to walk through this entire process from beginning all the way to the end until your admissions decision is complete. So my final slide kind of discusses how to apply. You can apply online free on the Bradley website, or we're a Common App school. And one of the most important things and changes with Bradley now is we are a test optional school. So you can choose to apply with or without a standardized test score. And we are going to make a decision on your admissions as well as your scholarships as a test optional student. So you do not need that to be able to be awarded direct admission to all of our programs and also review of scholarships. So that's my time with you here with Bradley. We're going to do question and answer near the end once it's finished, but I are one of my dear friends.
Thanks, April, and thanks to each of you for joining us tonight. I know everyone's schedules are very busy and hectic right now, and so each of us really appreciate you spending some of your evening with us, especially when there's so many different choices and other things you could be doing. So thank you very much for that. As April said, my name is Chris Potts. I'm Associate Director of Admission at Butler. I'm also a double Butler graduate. having earned my bachelor's and master's degrees from Butler. I work with all students from the state of Missouri except for the Kansas City metro area. So if you're from up in that region of the state, one of my colleagues, Ann Denz, is responsible for that area. But I spend a lot of time in the state and in St. Louis especially, and I couldn't be happier about that. So a little bit about Butler. We're a private, non-religiously affiliated, mid-sized university located in Indianapolis, Indiana. And as April said earlier, we're about 5 miles due north from downtown as the crow flies. And from downtown St. Louis, we're about 4 hours exactly. So hopefully that gives you a kind of a sense of where we are located. We're in a residential neighborhood, and we occupy about 450 acres of land, which is really a nice feature for us, especially being such an urban school. We have a student population of around 5,000 total students, so you can see that on the slide here, the majority of which are undergraduate students, which is, we have about 4,700 or so undergrad students. And this is definitely informs kind of how we do things, because from day one coming in as a freshman, you're gonna have opportunities to get engaged and to get connected with your professors and other classmates. And that is something that we really are passionate about and always keeping our eye on. Just over half our students come from out of state, and we have almost every state and 50 different countries represented within our student body. And that's thanks in large part to our popular study abroad program. So geographically, we're a very diverse student population. We take a lot of pride in that. And I think as a student at Butler, you're gonna have a lot of different ways to engage with students truly from all around the world. And that is, I think that is a great opportunity for students to kind of just get out of your comfort zone a little bit and figure out, you know, how that helps you grow as a person and as a student. Butler is very intentional on focusing on the relationship building aspect of the student experience. We are passionate about connecting you as a student to other students, to your professors, to other staff members. We are known for providing small classes, opportunities to engage directly with your professors, in real-world experiences, including internships. Many of our programs require internships to graduate. Some of them, like all of our business students, actually have to do 2 internships for credit in order to graduate. So that is definitely something that we like to talk about because it is a very valuable experience, we believe. You can see on this slide that we do maintain small class sizes with an average class size of 22 students. So for most of you, that's going to be probably pretty similar to what you're used to from your high school. And we have a student to faculty ratio of about 11:1. So all this means that as a student, you will be known by name and face, and you're going to have plenty of opportunities for engagement with your professors, both in and outside the classroom. You're not going to be just a number at Butler, and that is something that we are very passionate and intentional about maintaining. So now I want to talk a little more in depth about Butler's academic offerings. As you can see on this slide, we are made up of 6 academic colleges. You can see all of them listed here. So we focus on communication, education, the liberal arts and sciences, pharmacy and health sciences, which includes a full pharmacy and physician assistant program, the visual and performing arts, and business. Our liberal arts and sciences college is the largest. It makes up about 40% or so of all of our student majors. But there's plenty of opportunities for, as we'll talk about in a little bit, for students to double major, to major in a minor. You can cross major from any of our 6 colleges. So that is really a nice feature about Butler, is the academic flexibility. You'll start taking courses in your major during your first year, so there is no delay. You don't have to be an upperclassman or anything like that. And you'll also take courses in our core curriculum. It is easy for students to change their major once on campus, and as I mentioned, to also declare a second major or minor. Many of our students do, in fact, graduate with more than 1 major or minor. And to some extent, we encourage students to explore their many different options and areas of interest. I'm a good example of that. I mentioned I was a double major, Bachelor of Science in Biology and Chemistry. I did not start as that. I started as a computer science major, and then I dabbled a little bit in political science, and ended up with a double major in bio and chem. And I did all that in 4 years. So that is something that is very important to us, is offering that flexibility. As a side note, we also offer a terrific exploratory studies program that you can see here for undecided students. So we are a very friendly institution for students who are undecided or maybe have multiple areas of interest and just can't quite decide yet what it is that you want to pursue. About 40% or so of each year's incoming first year class comes in under this program, Exploratory Studies. And anyone who comes into this program should have no problem graduating on time in 4 years, and will have plenty of opportunities to explore your many different academic interests and options. So with all of this, because of all the hands-on experiences and personal relationships that students develop at Butler, students have significant success after graduation, and this is demonstrated by our consistent 96 to 98% placement rate of our graduates within 6 months of graduation. So next, I want to briefly discuss the student experience at Butler, which we know is a vitally important part of each student's overall success. We believe strongly that for students to be successful both in and outside of the classroom, that they need to feel a part of their community and be engaged both in and outside the classroom, of course, with lots of different and varied opportunities for involvement and connection. A big part of this is the student life and residential experience. We are a residential campus with a 3-year on-campus housing requirement. Over the past 5 years, we've invested in 2 new residence halls, one for first-year students, Irvington House, which you can see listed here, and one for sophomores, Fairview House, which is on this slide. All our residence halls are either brand new or newly renovated, and all focus on suite-style living and offering what we call a holistic residential experience. This is something that we've needed to do for a long time as an institution, and so all of us are very excited to have this, to have updated our housing to be an integral part of the student experience. Side note, most of these new residence halls are much nicer than where I lived after college, so that gives you some idea of how nice these are and how much emphasis we put on the residential experience. As far as dining goes, we know that food is very important to college students. And as of last year, we have a new food service provider on campus called Bon Appetit. They specialize in sustainability and have a heavy emphasis on local food sourcing and offering what they call fresh farm-to-table food options. This is a picture of one of our 2 cafeterias on campus. And this slide shows our grab-and-go food court area, which is called Plum Market. And of course, Starbucks, which is always one of the most popular hangout spots on campus. We kind of refer to it as the living room, if you will, or dining room of our campus. So dining options are very plentiful, and I would say that our students are very pleased with Bon Appetit and their offerings. So regarding other opportunities for involvement, we have over 130 clubs and student organizations. We have an active Greek life system with about a third or so of students participating in that. And of course, we are Division I, and we have 20 different Division I men's and women's athletic teams. We are in the Big East Conference, which is a major athletic conference, so we're pleased about that. Additionally, we offer club and intramural sports, as well as many competitive esports options, which is something that's relatively new, but it's a rapidly growing area of interest for students. It's been remarkable how much growing interest and how quickly that has happened with esports. So we are rapidly expanding those areas for students as well. So I want to transition real quick to our admission process and just make a couple of notes about that. First, just a quick note, April mentioned this about Bradley. We have also switched to a test optional admission policy starting this year. And so as such, all students will be automatically considered for both admission and merit-based scholarships when you apply to the university, regardless of if you apply with or without test scores. We're going to ask you up front on your application what your intentions are, meaning if you do want to apply with or without test scores, and so you will have that choice. More information about all of our admission requirements and procedures can be found on our website, and I encourage you to check that out. But regarding our academic profile, you can see on this slide our middle 50% ranges for both ACT and SAT scores and GPA. Each of these factors, very important, are considered to help us make your admission determination, along with other subjective things such as your essay, recommendation letters, and resume. All of these things will help guide us in making your admission and scholarship decision. It is important to note that we do a holistic and personalized review of all the applications we received. Last year, we received about 17,000 total applications, and I can tell you from experience that a human being looks through every single one of those applications at least one time. So that is our commitment to you, is that we want to get to know you as best as we can and know everything about you that we can. So the more information that you can provide to us on your application, the better for you. So this is what is required as a part of the application. Writing sample I mentioned, or essay, transcript, and secondary school report. And then you can see here that the test optional part. And we do list officially resume and letters of recommendation as optional, but I cannot strongly enough encourage you to submit those, as I mentioned, so that we can know as much about you as possible. And then finally, here are some important dates. The application for the current cycle is currently open. Many of you may have already applied. Our first application deadline is November 1st. I can't stress enough how important it is that if you're interested in us, that you apply by that date. It is early action, so it's non-binding. And this will give you maximum consideration for both admission and scholarships. All this information that I've just mentioned can be found in great detail on our website. If you just go to butler.edu/apply, you'll get all the information that you need about our admission process. So to wrap up, all of our, from all of us that are presenting today, we all take immense pride in our institutions and believe very strongly in the educational and personal experiences that our schools offer. For Butler, this is represented through what we call the Butler Way and the community of care. You will be well taken care of as a student at Butler and will graduate having had a transformative educational experience. And so whether that occurs at Butler or somewhere else, our goal is that we can help you through the process and you'll find the best fit for you when it's all said and done. So with that, I would like to turn it over to my good friend Diane, who is going to talk to you about Drury University.
Thanks, Chris. Welcome, everybody. I'm here with two of my very favorite admissions peeps. We're really good buddies. We often see overlap in applications, and we all three work really hard. So that's one of the things that binds us together. So next one, I want to tell you where we're located. We're in Springfield, Missouri. It's about 3.5 hours southwest of St. Louis, 3 hours southeast of Kansas City, a little further, you know, from Peoria, Indianapolis, but not a bad drive. It's interstate all the way. Where the headquarters to Bass Pro Shops are. We're the home of the Cardinal Baseball AA minor league affiliate. And they actually play in Hammons Field about 3 blocks across the highway from Drury. And we can hear the games on campus, which is pretty cool. New attraction called Wonders of Wildlife just opened 2 years ago. We're a great downtown area, 7 minutes from campus. We're close to Missouri State. If you have friends going there, our students go back and forth a lot. And it's great that we're close to recreational areas like Branson, Table Rock, Lake of the Ozarks. And there are 100+ miles of trails for hiking and biking. Springfield is a great college town, even though we're the 3rd largest metropolitan area in Missouri. It's just a really great college town. We actually have 4 colleges down there, so you'll be in good company. We're a private, affordable liberal arts university offering over 70 areas of study, 4- and 5-year degree programs, as well as grad studies in several areas. We have a high percentage of med school, law school, graduate school placement. We have approximately 1,500 undergraduate students, allowing for small class sizes and interactive, individualized hands-on instructions. We use all full-time professors to teach you. We don't have graduate assistants. You know, they may be in the classroom once in a while doing some observation work or something, but they don't actually teach your classes. We're a best value private university. We have beautiful traditional setting with on-campus living in either dorms or apartments. Okay. These are our popular degree programs I'm just going to touch on, and I'm always happy to provide you with more information on these. Architecture is a huge draw at Drury, and we have not only a nationally ranked program, but an internationally ranked program. We do have a study abroad requirement for the architecture students. We've kind of had to put it on hold right now because of the COVID, but as soon as we get the opportunity, we will open that up again. We have a facility in Aganos, Greece, and students go over there for either 10 weeks in the summer or a semester, and it's pretty cool. Business is a huge draw with all these majors that you can see. If you do an accounting major and you go on to get your master's degree, you will pass your CPA exam the first time, and believe me, you'll want to do that. Education's a big draw for Drury. Great clinical experiences that start as early as year one. We have a 5-year master's of education offered for that. One of my favorite programs is music therapy. It's a really well accredited national program, and our students are very successful. There's a good job market out there for that, or you can go into private practice. Next. Pre-health sciences, we pretty much cover everything, pre-med, bio, nursing, OT, PT, pharmacy, vet med, and more. And our students are very successful getting into those graduate programs afterward, as I mentioned before. Good psychology, criminology programs. We have had students that have been recruited for the FBI, which is pretty neat. We have great graphic and digital design, animation, computer science programs too. Athletics, big darn deal at Drury. We're an NCAA Division II school. You can see how many sports we have. A lot of them are men's and women's. You know, some of them are strictly men or strictly women, but we have placed nationally in playoffs and the like in the last couple of years. So we're pretty proud of that. And it's a big draw for home games. The Drury students really love going to all our home games. They do travel. They're kind of curtailed this semester, but we're hoping they'll start up again in the spring. So keeping our students safe is our main priority at Drury with this COVID virus. So we're doing a good job of it. Non-NCAA sports, you can see we have some pretty unusual ones like bass fishing and shotgun sports, and there are scholarships available for these sports as well as our NCAA sports. What is there to do socially? A lot. We have 80+ clubs and organizations, sororities and fraternities that are all national. New this fall was our color guard and marching band. And I gotta tell you, we were astounded at how many students expressed an interest in those two areas and are doing that at Drury now. Tons of things to do around Springfield and the surrounding areas. I always like to tell students we're big enough for you to have plenty to choose from, but we're small enough that you're not going to be overwhelmed, you know, getting involved in things. So we have living learning communities, themed learning communities. Our Drury Fusion program is there to help you combine your professional goals with your personal passions. We have an honors program. So we have all the things the bigger schools have. Admission requirements apply fall of your senior year. We have a free Drury app, or you can submit the Common App. There's no application deadline to do it early. Submit either your ACT or SAT scores. We look at you holistically. You know, we do have a minimum that's mentioned, but we go beyond that. So not to worry about that. We can super score. We also offer a residual ACT test on campus where you can come down to Drury and take your ACT in private with nobody else around. So some students are more comfortable with that. We're test optional now going forward for the 2021 class. So all you need to do is submit your 6 our 7th semester transcript. We're getting applications in by the hour, and we're pleased with what we're seeing. So, so you'll want to act on that as quickly as you can so we can move you forward, get started on your financial aid sooner than later. Okay. Financial aid and scholarships, get your FAFSA in. Opening date is October 1. Our school code is there. Academic scholarships are automatically awarded upon acceptance. Some of our performing scholarships have a separate application, and I would help you facilitate all that. Our academic scholarships are renewable all 4 years, as long as your renewal requirements are met, and that's pretty much staying within good standing for university standards. Performance awards in lots of areas, and we also accept outside scholarships, which is good. Visits and events. Well, we're actually gearing up. We have our first fall on-campus event tomorrow called Friday at DU, and we'll do those every other Friday from now until December. We're having people come out in person, but it's smaller groups. We're taking precautions. You can sign up for any regular campus visit or any of our events at the visit website. We will have major specific events starting fairly soon, and they kind of alternate with our Fridays at DU. The Architecture Day is probably the biggest one we have aside from the Health Professions Day. So if you want more information about those, I certainly invite you to get in touch with me. We're doing virtual campus visits. And if you want more information, you can go to that web link down at the bottom. I would love for you to get in touch with me so I can do things for you personally. So we'd love for you to come out, come see us in Pantherland and hear us roar. You will have to be masked up if you come to campus in person. And if you forget your mask, we'll provide you with one. We've got a bunch of them. So I hope you'll come out. And honestly, I think if you look at all 3 of our schools, you're going to find a lot of similarities. You're also going to find some differences. And I guarantee you, you're going to like all 3 of our campuses. They're all great. I've been on all 3 of them. So any questions? I'd love to hear from you. And there we go.
I will just say too that I can't impress enough how, and I think all of us would agree that visiting a campus is so important for making your ultimate decision. And I know that that's a difficult thing right now. And either because just of different things going on in each of our states or local areas, but to the extent that you are able to visit, I would really encourage that, just because there's no better way to get a sense of if a place is the right fit for you and the right feel. I think that my colleagues would agree with that. We do have, though, a lot of new virtual opportunities. I know that doesn't really take the place of on campus, but we're really doing some pretty cool things virtually that we've never done before. Virtual tours, go on YouTube or some of these other social sites and see if you can connect with current students from each of our institutions and get a sense there of what life is like. So, we're all trying to do our best to keep you engaged and to make sure that you get the information you need. So I did just want to say that because I know how valuable that is as a part of the process.
I lovingly tell students you probably wouldn't go to the prom with somebody you've never met before. So you don't want to arrive on campus on move-in day having never been there. So, but it's true.
I know now we have just a few minutes left. So for the few that are still hanging with us, we would love to do any question and answers that you may have. So you're welcome to post questions and we'll be able to definitely be able to just help you with general college questions. I always tell my students and my families, and Chris and Diane and I, we kind of giggle about this because I've been in the admissions world for 22 years as an admissions recruiter. I chose this occupation in college to be a recruiter, and you usually don't hear that. It's a passion for helping students. It's an active job outside of the pandemic. We used to travel a lot. But we're here to kind of guide you and help you. And I think, Diane, how many years experience have you given to this career?
This is year 24. How scary is that?
And Chris actually is the youngest of our crew here, our three amigos here. Chris, how long have you been in admissions?
This is going into my 17th year, so.
Okay.
Oh, that is scary. Yeah.
We pack a lot of punch here as far as experience. And we've been in all different roles in all different states. I started in Missouri, and then I married into Illinois and have been a recruiter in Illinois for a while. So, but we're here to help you with your questions. So please reach out to us anytime, either now or definitely write down our information. I know for myself, the 618 number that you see under mine, I live in near Southern Illinois, about an hour from St. Louis on the Illinois side. And that's my cell phone number. Tell my family, text me anytime. So sometimes at night, I might not get it till the morning, but please text us and reach out to us and call us.
I will tell you all too, I've worked kind of both sides of the fence. I've worked both public and private, and I'm a private school girl. I'm a big advocate about private colleges and universities. So it's just my humble 2 cents worth.
And I do think, you know, we not only are the three of us good friends, but part of the reason that we wanted to do this session is because it's true that all three of our schools are quite similar in approach and the types of experiences we offer, how we educate students. And so it's pretty remarkable to think that, you know, as far apart as we are, really in a lot of ways, how close we are as institutions. And really, if nothing else, this pandemic actually has brought a lot of us closer together, just because, you know, these kind of collaborative presentations, you know, didn't happen as frequently as they do now. And I've really kind of come to take a liking to that. So I between the three of us, I don't think there's obviously a bad choice. And if you like what one of us offers, you'll probably like what the other two have to offer as well. So I think that's important to point out.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I want to thank our panel for a wonderful presentation. I do want to show you one final slide to take care of. When this closes, there'll be a quick survey for our participants. We'd love to hear what you thought about this presentation. And definitely look at the Missouri ACAC website to see if there's other sessions. This is going on for another 3 weeks. So we're just at the beginning of this, and there's lots more presentations. There's individual college presentations. So we want you to take a full advantage of those. And in addition, the recordings will be available as well at moacac.org. So take full advantage of that. Take our presenters' advice to heart, get in touch with them. That's why we're here. We're here to answer your questions and to help you through the process. So please, you saw their information on it. Contact them directly with any questions. So having said that, thanks again for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Bye, everyone. Stay well.